Hello everyone, today a short video about dry fasting and vital energy. We will explore how dry fasting can achieve a complete reset of the entire organism so that we can regain normal vitality, because the vitality of a human being is the absolute keystone. Without vital energy, there is zero activity occurring. We are inactive, we don't function, we get sick. We will look at all these details today. Before that, I saw many people. I don't know if YouTube is unsubscribing people systematically. I feel like people doing alternative medicine are often, there are unsubscriptions YouTube makes. So don't hesitate to resubscribe. Sometimes you see the links on your YouTube channel, but you are unsubscribed. Please feel free to resubscribe to the channel. Also, do not hesitate to leave some comments. I rarely mention this, but if you want to leave comments, it's fine. It is respectful, there is no issue whatsoever, and please help spread the videos around. We are going to talk about this subject, which is truly something close to my heart. It is vitality. It is one of the basic principles of built nature, of health in general. For all time, health traditions encompassing natural, ancestral, or energetic methods agree on one vital point. It's not matter directing the body, but truly energy that decides. We observe this. How might one assess the vital energy of an individual? I have several things in the office that can see that. What is the vital energy I received at birth? It is very simple. It can also be nervous energy, vital energy, the nervous strength I received, the spark of life that we were given. Were we born with a 2-horsepower engine or a Ferrari engine? I have known that for a long time because I do archaeology. I do eye analyses. In the eye analysis, we see big differences between the people I see. If you have very close weave patterns with perfectly straight fibers, what is called a tonic individual, characterized by very dense fibers, very strong nervous energy. There are no holes in the iris, no organs are damaged. This is very strong energy. And then you have very loose weave patterns. There are degrees. We can say that some people are born with 2-horsepower engines. Others are born with engines comparable to a Ferrari, a BMW, and so forth. The energy we receive at birth can be perfectly evaluated in the eye. I could work for insurance companies to assess people's health, because iridology is a truly impressive way to see a person's energy. Whether it is at the moment of birth for a child, we can assess their inherent capital, their life potential, how they will live their life. Will they have strong energy, average energy, or very low energy? And then we often see people who have very strong energy. They tend to abuse their strength. And it is always said that we perish by our strengths and not by our weaknesses. Because people who have irises with very loose weave patterns, these are people who take care of themselves, who see naturopaths, who do nutrition, who do I don't know what, who do many things to maintain themselves because they are fragile. These people manage to live quite well. But they need to become aware that they do not have very high energy. It shows. It is a marker we have for vitality. In the eye, it is very visible. It is very easy to see. Even with a very simple magnifying glass, one can evaluate it. Otherwise, there is, of course, the GDV camera we have. I know that we test every person with a health assessment, but no, that was introduced last year, before we had biosequence. But since it takes a lot of time, we reserve it more for the office for long consultations. And now we do the testings for every person who comes for the fasts. We evaluate all these systems, all these organs. We might be one of the rare fasting centers to test all that. People leave with an assessment. There is a 40-page report on all the systems, the chakras, how they are aligned. It is scientific, it is Professor Volkov's camera. Truly a very precise assessment of health. And of course, there is the person's energy level, which we also see through this testing. If you combine the testing with iridology, you obtain something truly valuable for assessing your overall health status, your vital energy in every case. This vital energy is the engine of life. It directs everything. It is what animates the nervous system, coordinates the organs, supports immunity. It facilitates the body's repair mechanisms. When the inherent energy within us is robust, the body can regulate itself, harmonize, and heal a pathology more quickly. It heals faster. It defends itself better. The internal system is functional fast. There is better regeneration. Vital energy is the key to health. Without vital energy, we don't function. We only have problems. The key is to be able to maintain this vital energy, this nervous energy, until the end of one's life. That is the key. Through naturopathic methods, through fasting, through many methods. If you go see a naturopath, that is their job. When this energy runs low, the terrain becomes fragile. On weakened ground, all diseases come to graft themselves. You no longer have vital energy. You more easily have porosity in the intestine. You more easily have a clogging of your liver, which can no longer do its job. It can no longer eliminate waste, toxins. The sickness is not the root cause, but rather the result stemming from a depletion of vital energy. After that, it's clear that if you force the hand on an organ, you know that you drink alcohol endlessly. It is the alcohol that will be responsible for ruining your liver. It is not so much an energy deficit. However, generally speaking, it is frequently an energy depletion that manifests through a subtle, insidious effect. We have organs that function less well, that begin to become exhausted. After a few years, we see that it functions less well. We feel worse, our sleep quality decreases, we become irritable, and so on. Many minor issues begin to surface. We don't get it. We think it's odd, that it's just okay. Yes, but the issue is energy loss. External factors were mismanaged, causing that energy loss. So, with good energy, we keep an energy reserve that is substantial, securing our overall well-being. Dry fasting represents one of the methods. Interesting to reset, to clean out, in order to achieve resynchronization and readaptation to the difficult hostile conditions prevalent in our contemporary world. We cause an enormous amount of energy to be lost. The lifestyle we lead forces upon us a big workload, continuous consumption of food, excessive work demands, and digestion that never ceases. We eat 4 or 3 times a day, lots of carbs, insulin up and down. It's a disaster. The metabolic problems caused all civilization diseases. Now, I hope what's happening in the US, where there's a real revolution in diet management, where carbs went from 55% to 10%, I think, based on the pyramid, if I get it. We are at maybe 10% carbs. We might turn the US around. If people apply this, there might be a reversal of type 2 diabetes, hypertension, diabetes, etc. This lifestyle, I could go on, is chronic stress from mental overstimulation, information overload. The body can no longer manage to rest. The ultra state means fatigue, silent inflammations, muscle wasting, sicknesses, nerve issues, a decline in self-assurance and stress. The nervous system, which ought to direct energy, spends all its time compensating for problems. The underlying principle in sex fasting also involves cyanogenesis. The major concept behind sex fasting is this well-known cyanogenesis, and the regeneration of the nervous system facilitated by BDNF, which stands for brain-derived neurotrophic factor. The human body, please understand, is not designed to fall ill. It is programmed to sustain health throughout life. This relates to that well-known fundamental principle of cyanogenesis, the innate ability of life to self-regulate, self-adapt, self-repair all the time. The objective of living is to enhance this cyanogenesis, enabling us to constantly adapt to even the smallest stress imposed upon us. Sex fasting is a small stress we impose, but it lets us work on adaptation, cleanse, and regenerate. This temporary lack of food and water creates a biologically very interesting and truly special context that 99.9% of the population ignores, yet it is one of the keys that people should know. If you look at the penguins in Antarctica, they all practice dry fasting. They don't necessarily have diseases. We won't compare ourselves to Antarctic penguins, but we are still different. But anyway, dry fasting is really putting yourself in a special state where all external stimuli cut off cease, and then all unnecessary energy expenditures fade away. The body genuinely focuses on what is essential, which is returning to the energy state present when rest is attained. We really have organs capable of resting and granting themselves an opportunity for repair via stem cells. In this context, the nervous system becomes the priority again. Fasting times especially stimulate this neurotrophic factor from the brain, which is a truly essential and pivotal molecule supporting neuron survival and promoting both neuronal and cerebral plasticity. We have huge results, I think, for diseases like Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, which are things that are just beginning. Here, dry fasting is king. Even multiple sclerosis, neurodegenerative diseases, if you have that, you start a dry fast right after. You have something quite significant and effective. This BDNF also participates in resilience, in the complete regeneration of the nervous system. When energy isn't wasted, the nervous system reorganizes, gets stronger, and regenerates. Dry fasting truly functions as a potent biological signal that restarts this famous cyanogenesis, which allows the nervous system at the head of the body's piloting to return to piloting mode. Let's go, it works. The nervous system is efficient. The nervous system acts as the conductor. It makes all the decisions. It will regulate. I am unsure what the issue is. It seems stuck. I cannot determine what is occurring. My video feed is lagging. Is the recording still active? I am uncertain. At least I sincerely hope it is. Thus, the nervous system, which is the genuine conductor, it directs the nervous system. It manages the hormones, the immune response, and digestion. It will do cellular repair. If it's exhausted, what will happen? No treatment can work long term. You can take all the immune supplements, all the medications you desire. None of them will achieve the desired effect. So if it's restored, the body gets back its natural repair and healing intelligence. So dry fasting acts as a metabolic reset, a nervous system reset, a complete immune system reset. It is a pause that allows the body to exit survival mode and enter rest, adaptation, and regeneration. Little memo, there you go. If not, dry fasting will induce ketosis, leading to cellular redistribution and repair facilitated by the body's stem cells. Therefore, while undergoing dry fasting, the body enters a specific metabolic condition known as ketosis, and glucose is no longer the main source. We change fuel. We are using ketones that repair, regenerate, and ease digestion. The body uses fats. Ketone bodies are produced in mass, in large quantities, much more than in a ketogenic diet, 3 to 4 times more approximately. Consequently, these ketone bodies serve not only as fuel, but also as crucial signaling molecules That will create cellular protection that will, in any case, decrease inflammation. If you analyze yourself with the ultra-sensitive CRP, it's a marker I ask everyone to measure. These are insidious inflammations underlying issues that can signal serious illnesses, not just cancer. If your high sensitivity CRP goes up, there is a problem in your body. So this is really important to measure, and dry fasting will regulate and cut all that out. Ketosis also improves energy efficiency. You maintain stable fuel, meaning you never feel tired from dawn till dusk. So for me now, with the people I follow on a keto diet, I still find it works quite well. We really have people with pathologies. I am referring to issues. Just today, I saw someone suffering from acne. I saw someone who had major digestive problems. 2 months of keto, everything is regulated. The person has no more digestive problems, no more pimples, nothing. It's fast. In 2 months, it works very, very well. I am now rather favorable to prescribing low-carb diets, or virtually none, provided people are able to adhere to that. In this state, the body eliminates its weaker cells via ketosis, recycling damaged structures. That is the function of ketosis. Of course, the ketogenic diet doesn't do much for stem cells. You need a dry fast to get those famous stem cells. But the ketogenic diet is good in between. Between fasts, it is very interesting. Ketosis creates a favorable environment for mobilizing body fat, the mobilization of adipocytes, heavy metals, if you have any. All this will encourage all of that, and dry fasting naturally stimulates stem cells. We have something innate by which we are the human being equipped to do periods of fasting like our ancestors. We are perfectly equipped. So it creates optimal biological conditions for the body to enter repair, regeneration, strengthening, adaptation mode, etc. Thus, vital energy represents the best form of health prevention, genuine prevention. It does not consist of fighting a pathology solely with medication. The worst is hepatic. If you have natural remedies, it's a bit better. They are crutches. I give crutches. It is important. Afterwards, you must think about the terrain, think about vital energy. Always think about the key organs. It is mainly the intestine in order, then the liver, then the kidneys. That is where things happen. And we have the measurement devices. We can control them. So true prevention is maintaining a high level of energy all the time from start to finish. That is precisely why we can do iris analyses. We see the degradations. I have seen people, there you go. 15 years, 20 years interval, we see things degrading. The idea is to keep the highest possible vital energy, good health, to avoid those gaps that appear in the eye, which can be seen by a simple sweep of the eye. There you go. So when the present energy is strong, the body defends itself better. Any imbalances are swiftly corrected by the body's own homeostatic mechanisms. Diseases have little hold, have few chances, have little chance to settle in. The dry fast, which you incorporate annually, is what I personally practice and what I advise. Long dry fasts each year for subsequent repair and cleansing. That's it. It is an absolutely brilliant tool for prevention, offering a method for deep restoration of the nervous system, the uterine system, and so forth. It is also a listening to oneself, a listening to life, to know oneself, to learn to seek deep within ourselves for things. It is making peace with ourselves, with our emotions. Ketone bodies provide very interesting fuel for the nervous system. One feels extremely calm when in ketosis. The mind is very clear. You cannot be depressed. Someone who is dry fasting cannot fall into depression. It is really the opposite. We repair very well. So, to conclude this video well, dry fasting is not a method for treating pathologies and diseases. It is a method that gives the body back its natural capacity to regulate itself, to enter homeostasis mode, regulation all the time. It is a method that aims to regain one's vital energy, to cleanse oneself, to detoxify from pollutants, and to restore strong vitality, because through autophagy you will utilize proteins, the dysfunctional cells that will be autophagized. So we will lyse them, autophagize them, and then recycle. Dry fasting is a metabolic recycling of everything that is dysfunctional to put new structure back into the body. And when vital energy returns through a well-managed, well-resumed dry fast, health regains vital energy. It returns. We can truly recover years of life with a good dry fast. So the real question isn't, like most people around, but what illness do I have? What's wrong, sir? What illness? What is it? But rather to ask, what is my level of vital energy that I have, which I must maintain every day? Then it passes. Fasting is a pillar, but there are others. So that was all for today's video. See you soon. Bye-bye.